The Trey Hendrickson situation continues to look uglier and uglier for the Cincinnati Bengals, and there doesn't appear to be an end in sight. But I do think that there is one thing that Hendrickson can do to turn the tide back into his favor. So in this video, I'm going to explain what his next move should be. What's up, Bengals fans? John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati here, and I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. Trey Hendrickson, if you're listening to this, you got to fire your agent. Plain and simple. We are in the middle of May. Nothing is really happening right now with the Bengals. Yes, they're participating in off-season workouts. They're implementing rookies with the rest of the team after rookie minicamp. But there is no real deadline right now to do anything regarding the roster. The 90-man roster is pretty much set. Yes, they can still release Jermaine Pratt or maybe trade him away to, a team that's willing to give up something for him. But there's no real deadline to do anything with the team. And that includes giving Trey Hendrickson a new contract. And despite that, Hendrickson and his camp went out of their way to release a statement to ESPN's Adam Schefter stating that no communication has been had between the Bengals and Hendrickson regarding his contract extension. And to be perfectly clear, the Bengals are definitely at fault for most of the situation that has been in the public eye for now 3 months. I am not saying that the Bengals are the good guys here. I'm saying that the Bengals are who they've always been. If there is no urgency to hand over millions of dollars to a player who is begging them to do so, they are not going to do it. The most important and lucrative financial decisions that this team makes is always around some type of a deadline. And again, there is no deadline staring them in the face to get Hendrickson's contract situation in order. So for Hendrickson to release this statement, clearly expressing an abundance of frustration with the lack of communication on their side, I can only assume that everything and anything that Hendrickson's camp is doing is not resonating at all with the Bengals. And if his goal is to get something done this offseason and not play out the remainder of his contract and only earn $16 million, if his goal is to get paid by the Bengals, or any team for that matter, then the best thing for him to do is to do exactly what T. Higgins did last year. As we talked about several times on this channel, the biggest reason why the Bengals were able to keep both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is because T. Higgins fired his agent, David Mulugheta, one of the very best agents in the NFL, and he hired Rocky Arsenault, who also represents Jamar Chase. Now, whether or not Higgins did that to help out the Bengals by giving them a fresh start in negotiations with a familiar face because they had been working with Arsenault to get Jamar Chase done, or he did that to force the Bengals' hand by saying, you either keep both of us or none of us, he did that because his goal was to get something done immediately with the Bengals. And if Hendrickson wants something done this offseason, the NFL draft has passed. The odds of him getting traded to another team so that they can pay him are basically slim to none. And clearly, we already saw Hendrickson's agent fail to facilitate a trade that the Bengals would have jumped at. If things are this bad and the Bengals still don't want to talk to Hendrickson about this issue that he's clearly very frustrated about, it's not the Bengals who are most likely to change here. It's Hendrickson's side of things. The front office is doing what they've always done. They are waiting this out and waiting for Hendrickson to just accept the offer that's in front of him. And if Hendrickson wants to bypass all of that and get to a number that he's more comfortable with, I'm saying that his best chance is to find someone who can actually speak their language and get them to start talking again. I don't think that Higgins would have been able to get what he wanted if he didn't make a switch with his agent, and I'm starting to believe that the same is true for Hendrickson. Now, I realize that Hendrickson has already signed 2 contracts with the Bengals under his current representation, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that they do come to an agreement sometime this offseason. But that agreement is going to be on the Bengals' terms, not his terms. If Hendrickson wants to make all of this public outcry work in his favor, he's going to have to do more work behind the scenes. And that may start with just getting someone new entirely to do the work for him. Because clearly, what's happening now is not good enough.